Today's project is this clean and classy two-piece set, a fitted button front top paired with a pleated skirt. In this tutorial, I'll show you how I cut and sew this two-piece set from start to finish. And if you've been wondering how this pleated skirt is made and it comes out looking like a flare skirt, even though it's not cut as flare, just watch this video to the end because I'll be showing you all the tips and tricks you need to get it done that way. Now, let's get into it. This is the pleated fabric I use for the skirt, and of course it comes longer than this. I already cut out the other half to make another pleated skirt, but I'll be using this one to show you how to go about it. And this is measuring 3 yards. Yeah, so I have this for the skirt, and then I have this other fabric for the top. It's a super lightweight fabric and I do not recommend, but that's what I'll be using for the top. Yeah, you need at least 1 yard depending on your size, 1 yard and above to make the top. Then for this skirt you need at least 2 yards of it, but I recommend 3 yards. What I have here is 3 yards. Yeah, but yeah, which one should we start with, the skirt or the top? Okay, let's do the top first before we talk about the skirt. So this line you see here will serve as the shoulder line, and from the shoulder you're going down to your waistline and then down to your blouse length. And here we have the space for the front, and then this other space will be for the back. And then we also have the waistline and the blouse length, and you can see that the back length is 1.5 shorter because of the bust that will be coming later. But yeah, I have these lines marked out, and then here will be the center back. Now I'm going to start from that shoulder and go down to the bust point line. You also need your bust point line, so I'll mark it on these two ends and use my straight ruler to connect it like this and label it bust point line. On the shoulder, I'll mark the shoulder measurement divided by 2, and then I'll go down to the chest line, and on the chest line again I'll be marking the shoulder measurement divided by 2 and come to this other end and mark the shoulder measurement divided by 2. Yeah, the chest line, just so I have a straight line connecting the two like that. Once that is done, I'll be marking the standard neck width here, and then I'll be coming down to the standard neck there too, but you can decide to add ½ inch or 1 inch to it, especially if you don't want it to choke you. Do you understand? Then just to have a perfect neckline curve, I'll come down 1 inch on the neck width and mark the neck width again on that point and place my curve like this and curve it to that 1 inch, then place my curve this exact way again and curve it to the neck width I have on the shoulder line. I'll come down here to 1 inch to slope the shoulder and connect it to the neck width like this. Now I'll measure from that shoulder slope down to the chest line, get the midpoint, and on that point I'll be going into ½ inch. Then on the bust I'll be marking the bust measurement divided by 4. Now I'm going to connect from the shoulder tip to this ½ inch and curve from this ½ inch to the bust width this way. The next thing I'll do now is to mark the bust span, that is the nipple to nipple divided by 2, and connect it straight like this. Then for my dart intake, I'll be doing ½ inch on both sides on the waistline this way. Now I'm going to come down from the waistline down to about 6 inches as the dart length. Now I'm going to connect it on both sides, the same way you shape your dart on both sides this way, upwards and downwards. And once that is done, I'm going to measure from the shoulder slope down to where I want the armhole princess seam to be and place my curve like this and connect it to the bust span I have on the bust point line. I will then take my waist measurement divided by 4 plus the 1 inch dart intake. I will replace it. Then on the blouse length, the hip measurement divided by 4. We will be adding some ease to the hip later, but for now, I'll be coming down here to 1.5 for the bust dart and take it to the bust span on the bust point this way. We were supposed to have our button allowance here, but it's not bad. I will still be transferring these patterns to the fabric, so I will add that when I'm transferring to the fabric. But in case you're marking this directly on your fabric, don't forget to add your button allowance of at least 0.75. Now start from the waistline and go down to 3 inches depending on how or where you want your inverted V to start from. Yeah, so I'm doing 3 inches. Then from the blouse length, I'll go down to about 2 inches. You can do 2.5 or 3 inches depending on how pointy you want it to be on that point. Then on that 2 inches, I will come into 1 inch and take it from that 1 inch to the 3 inches I came down from my waistline. Can you see that? And yeah, that's how you go about the inverted V. Just do about 1 inch because this thing goes wider at the end of the day. Now for the length on the side seam, I'm going to start from the waistline and come down to about 6 inches, or better still, just come down to where you want your blouse to sit on that side. Then you're going to take it from that point to this length you have on the center front, and then at this point you will you'll be adding half inch to 1 inch as ease allowance, depending on how free you want it to be on that point, but you are not leaving it like that. So I'm doing about half inch here, and you see me extend the blouse length to that point. So measure what you have here and have it in mind, because you'll also be using the same thing for the back pattern. Now coming to the back, I'm going to measure the shoulder measurement divided by 2, and then I'll go down to the chest line, and on the chest line again I'll be marking the shoulder measurement. We are using the same chest line as the front, and then I'll just go ahead and roll it out like this. Once that is done, I'll mark the standard neck width and then come down to about 2 inches. And for this back neckline, do whatever you like with it. Yeah, you can do half inch as the neck depth, 1 inch or 1.5 or 2 inches. But since there is no collar coming to the neckline, I'm deciding to use 2 inches as the neck depth. Then for the shoulder slope, I did 1 inch. Then I'll measure from that point to the chest line and get the midpoint. Yeah. Then I'm going to come in from the center back to the bust span, that is the nipple to nipple divided by 2. I'll mark it on the blouse length and extend it like that. Then for the dart length on the top, I'll be going up to 5 inches from the waistline and mark the bust span again on that point and extend it to the one we already have on the waist and on the blouse length. Then for the dart intake, I'll be doing half inch on both sides and shape it this exact way you see me shape it. And then for the dart length for the down, I'll be going down to about 6 inches from the waistline and also shape the dart this exact way. Now I'm going to connect the armhole princess seam this exact way you see me do it from that midpoint we got earlier on the armhole. And then after doing that, it's looking kind of pointy on this break point, just so it's well blended. I'm using my curve to just blend it in this way, and doing it like this, you already shorten the length, or you already have two lines and one of them is shorter. So just go ahead and measure the two lines this way, just to the waistline, yeah. And of course, the side one is going to be shorter, and I'm going to replace it here. It's about 0.25. So I'm going to extend this midpoint we got earlier and then mark the 0.25, and that is where we'll be covering the armhole from. I'll now take the bust measurement divided by 4, then on the waist measurement divided by 4 plus the 1 inch that intake, and then on the blouse length, the hip measurement divided by 4. We'll still be adding the ease later after getting the length, just as we did it on the front pattern. Now, the next thing we are going to do now is to measure the length on this side seam. You're going to use the exact same thing you use on the front, yeah. Then whatever it is you have on the side, yeah, you're going to add 1 to 2 inches to it on the center back, just so it's curved. It's not supposed to be looking straight on that center back. For this kind of top, it's better if it looks curved, like curved, shorter on the side seam and longer on the center back, the same as the front too. Do you understand? Not the same length though, but like it's better if it's shorter on the side seam and longer on the center. So you are going to add your ease allowance of half inch after getting the length like we did on the front. Then you label this. So we have the side back, we have the center back. The center back, you're cutting that on fold. The side back, you're cutting 2 pieces of it. The side front, you're cutting 2 pieces of it. And then the center front, you're cutting 2 pieces. Because of the button allowance, you're not cutting the center front on fold. And then we curve the armhole from that midpoint we got, and that extension of about 0.25 we have there, you curve it to the bust width, and it's looking like this. And we are going to be cutting this out, and while cutting I realized I needed to make the length longer, just so it's not hanging, but I'm doing just about half inch extra. So whatever it is I have here now, I'll be adding half inch to it. That's on this side seam, yeah. And then also on the center back, I will also be adding half inch, basically extending the length by extra half inch. Do you understand? And on the center back, you can try to even do 1 inch, just so it's well curved there and not looking straight. Your top should not be hanging except on the side. Yeah, do you understand? So we are going to be cutting this out. There is no zipper allowance, there is no back contour, because you're cutting the center back on fold. So I'll be cutting the pattern out just this exact way you see me cut it out. And since you already labeled the pattern, it will be easier for you to differentiate the back from the front, because if you don't do that, after cutting it out, you might misuse the front as the back, or even the back as the front. So we are going to repeat the same thing on this front pattern too. After getting the length on the side, you add your ease allowance of about half inch, and then I extended it by half inch, but then I'm maintaining the same length I have on the center front. And now we'll be closing the bust dart. Slash the waist dart so that we'll be able to close the bust dart, and after closing that, you're going to blend in the side seam, yeah, and then you're going to cut the rest of the pattern this exact way you see me cutting it out. And yeah, don't forget to add your button allowance if you're doing this directly on your fabric. But if you're doing this on your fabric, that means there won't be you won't be doing the bust dart method. Now let me show you how to go about the sleeve. Of course, this one you are doing it on your fabric, yeah. So just make sure that the width you have will go around your armhole, yeah. And then for the length of the sleeve is very short. So depending on your size, I recommend from 5 inches. I'm using 5 inches for this person, and I'm going to roll it out like this. Once that is done, I'm going to come down here to about 3 inches and give curve the sleeve cap this exact way. Then for the round sleeve, I recommend you come in here to 1 inch or 1.5, depending on how wide the sleeve is, yeah. But I'm doing 1 inch for this person, just 1 inch from the sleeve width, and that will be her round sleeve because it's not going to be tight. Do you understand? And you're cutting two of the sleeves. So I went ahead to transfer my patterns to the fabric, and I've added the allowance. This is the button allowance of about 1 inch. You can do 0.75, yeah. Then every other part you'll be adding half-inch stitching allowance. Then when you get to this part where your inverted V starts, you're going to indicate that line. Then you add your half-inch and blend it into the 1 inch button allowance. Then for the hem, you already know that I like to do 1 inch as the hem allowance for my blouses. Hem allowance of any kind, I like to do 1 inch instead of half-inch because the lining is always shorter. So when the lining or the fabric lays over the lining, it won't shorten the length of my blouse. So I like to do 1 inch instead of half-inch allowance. Then on the side seam, I have about 1.5 side seam allowance. Then every other part that I'll be using to sew and join to the other part, I'll be adding half-inch joining allowance and stitching allowance on that point. Except on every other part that I shared how much allowance I added there. Then on the armhole, I did about 0.25 because you can decide not to add any allowance on the back, on the armhole. So you're going to use the same method to cut for all the other pieces, yeah. And after cutting, I went ahead to cut out my lining, and these are the pieces we need now to make this top. I have the center front, I have the side front, which I have 4 pieces. I have 2 pieces of the fashion fabric and 2 pieces of the lining, and then I have the side back, which I have 4 pieces too. And then the center back, which I have 2 pieces of that because the center back is cut on fold. You're cutting your center back on fold. Do you understand? So yeah, I have my lining and I am not interfacing this top. If you want to go ahead and do that, especially if you're using a lightweight fabric like this, but I'm deciding to keep this very minimal. The other top, this exact side that I made for her sister, I interface both the fashion fabric and the lining, but this one I'm deciding not to do that, but I'll be showing you where I need some interface later. But I used a very soft cotton lining for this, so everything is soft, 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 lightweight, lightweight, lightweight. So for the sleeve, you're going to make the lining shorter with about half-inch, and then when you match it up on the hem to sew it and turn it to the right side, you're going to top stitch on the top part or the sleeve cap to make them equal, and then that way the fashion fabric overlays the lining. Do you understand that? So that your lining will be popping out on the hem of your sleeve. Then this is my belt that I'll be adding to the center back if you're interested in that, and that is the first thing you're going to sew before you start doing any part of this dress. So after sewing the belt, go ahead and iron it. And now I'm going to open up my center back pattern this way, and the essence of you notching on all those vital parts, that is the waistline, the bust point for the front here, is just so you use it now when you want to sew this belt. So go ahead and place it on your waistline. Your notch will help you indicate the waistline at this point. And then after pinning the belt down this way, you're going to place the side seam right side to the right side, this exact way you see me do it. And once that is done, you're going to pin it down to secure it, and then you're doing the same thing on this part. Make sure that your belts are out of the way, yeah, and then you pin it down. When you're sewing, make sure that those belts are out of your seam line, just so you don't stitch them down. So you're going to sew it, and then you're going to repeat the same thing with the lining. Place them right side to the right side. There's no right side for the lining anyway. Just go ahead and place them sides to the center, and then you sew your darts. And then for the front, this is the lining part because I'm using same fabric as the lining for the center front. So I'm going to join my darts and match up the notch I have on the bust point and on the waistline, just so it comes out the same way we cut it out. Do you understand? Then this is the fashion fabric. I'll take out the patterns from them, then place them right side this way and pin them down right side to the right side. notches to notches. That's the bust point, the waistline, and then hem to hem. You pin it down accordingly, then you go ahead and sew it. So after sewing and ironing, this is what the belt is looking like. And this belt can just serve as a decorative piece on that center back, because if you don't tie it and you leave it just dropping like that, it looks so cute, I tell you. So what I'm going to do now is to shed off half inch from the lining. We cut them the same length as the fashion fabric, but now we are taking out half inch on the hem, just so this lining won't be popping out on the hem of the blouse at the end of the day. So once you're done doing that, you're going to match it up or place them right side to the right side, pin it down, and then you're going to sew the neckline. Again, make sure that your belts are out of your seam lines, just so they comes out looking straight the same way they are at this point. So after sewing the neckline and top stitching, you sew the down before you sew the side seam. And then for the front, I went ahead to interface just the center front because of the button, just to give it a bit of structure on that point. And now you're going to be placing them right side to the right side. The dot will indicate which side is the right side and which side is the wrong side. So sew the neckline, top stitch, sew the hem of the blouse, and you can also top stitch if you want to before you sew the center front and the side seam. So after doing that, I have it like this, and at this point I recommend that you iron as you sew, just so your work comes out very neat at the end of the day. But what we'll be doing now is to just go ahead and join the shoulder, and I'll be using the back to just turn the front as you see me do it like this. So take your time and do that, and after that you're going to fix your sleeve and you're going to have something like this. I'm yet to iron this, and that is why it's looking this ugly. But what you're going to do is to give it a very thorough pressing, and then you're going to fix your button. One is going to be on the tip of the neckline, yeah, and then the other one will be from where your V starts. Then you distribute the rest of the buttons evenly on the other space. Just overlap them the same way you added your button allowance. And yeah, that's pretty much how you go about the top. After giving this a thorough pressing, it's going to come out well. And for the belt, like I said, you can decide not to tie it and just leave it hanging like that. It comes out looking so cute. Now let's talk about the skirt. I already mentioned that I cut out the other part for the other skirt, and now what I'm going to do for this person is to measure her skirt length of about 26 inches here, but I'll be doing 25 just so the band that will be coming later will make up the length, since you are not going to be adding any other allowance on the down to like complete the length of for folding allowance, because you're not folding any part of this skirt. So after you're done, you're going to arrange it the same way it came, like the pleats came, yeah. Then you go to your sewing machine and stitch it down this exact way your pleat came. You're going to just take this pleats back to its original form, but you are doing this on your sewing machine, because except you're using your pin here, it's just a waste of time if you are trying to do that on a flat surface. So go ahead and arrange the pleats and sew. You are not doing this one, just do it batches by batches. You arrange, then you stitch it down just so the pleats go back to its original form. And after you're done, you're going to have it like this. Can you see how cute this is coming out to be? So now you're going to make sure that what you have here now is at least your hip circumference. Your hip circumference at least. Then you're going to cut out a band of about 2.5 or 2 inches, depending on your elastic band size that you're using. But just make sure it goes around that waistline, and then after sewing it, you're going to trim off the excess and you're going to have it like this. Now you're going to bring in your elastic. I'm using 1.5 wideness of this elastic, and then I'm going to cut it out just the amount that I need and insert it on the waist or into this band. And just before this elastic band goes all into the fabric band, yeah, you're going to secure it on this end, and then you take it to the other end. Once you come out here, you're also going to pin it down, then you go over to your sewing machine and stitch it down just to secure it on that point. Now once you're done with that, arrange this excess fabric you have now on the band because of the elastic band, yeah. Then you're going to sew here with about 0.25. Just come down 0.25 there and sew. Then you come out from the joining you have on the waist and sew 0.25 too. And now I'm going to run another 2 stitches in between this one we already have on the band. Stretch while you do that, and I recommend you do that from the wrong side of the band, so that the front or the right side comes out very neat. You are not folding the skirt, because once you iron it, you already ruined the pleat or the beauty of the pleated skirt. So just go ahead, and after sewing and closing it on the center back, you're going to have the band coming out like this. You can see how the wrong side is looking, and the right side looking all cute. And yeah, that's pretty much how you go about this skirt. I hope you found it very helpful. If you follow these steps, it's going to come out looking like a flare. Once you wear it and it's really firm on your waist, it comes out looking flared, just the exact way you want it. Let me know in the comment if you find it very helpful, and I'll be seeing you on my next one.